So this is a big debate that goes back to Karl Marx. Is it the economy being the base of the society and culture being one of the, extra bonus kind of creams on the topping on the cake? Or is it the other way around? The culture being the basis of our identity, and economics, capitalism, democracy being just an outlet of culture. I believe Marx was wrong in this. I believe economics is a subset of culture, not the other way around. Yeah, so this is one of the interesting ways of looking at what's happening from a sort of point of view of economists, kind of when we are dealing with a topic such as this. If you look at the three last titans in the economy, it would be IBM, Microsoft, and then Google. And you can see when you compare these three companies how abstract it goes. I mean, IBM produced computers that you can knock on. Microsoft produced quite abstract things, but you can still at least pack it. You can't pack a product from Google. It's so abstract. They don't even employ their employees. They employ everybody. Anybody who puts a thing on YouTube or connects becomes sort of an employee, but is never paid. So it's much learn. Child likes to learn. We absorb. We're very artistic. We feel more than we think. And this today was kind of resonating in my head as I was listening to the various approaches, and pretty much I think this would be a nice way to sum it up. It's kind of a playful age. We don't longer wage wars. We no longer have survival issues. We no longer suffer from cold. So we start playing, and Nietzsche named this the ultimate stadium of mankind, where we actually play, become creative, and earn living by doing that. So there's lots of people who actually earn living by playing. And that is somewhat the breaking of the original curse that mankind kind of got in the oldest story. You will work in the sweat of your brow, and now we kind of seem to be more and more percentages of GDP where we work, but at the same time we play. Well, of course, the public sector does have a role to play, but I would much rather it to be led by natural evolution, which we see in Europe and perhaps in America, in our part of the world. Our culture is very different from other cultures, and there's been a lot of talk about the clash of civilizations. I think that's changing into clash of cultures with the global village and everything. It will be what culture represents me best. What culture do I buy, so to speak? You can't buy yourself a civilization, but you can't buy yourself a culture. And that becomes, and of course, governments will have a role to play, and many theaters cannot survive on their own in the quality that experts would want to. But I see this not being as necessary as in the past. I'd much rather it be through private funds. What you see now, in the past we thought, and all the industry was focused on the middle of the bell curve, so to speak, in the biggest 95% of the population. Well, we've now discovered there's much more profits on the long tail, so to speak, and that long tail is custom made. Now we want to have our custom-made original. It's actually quite an interesting thing. How many times does one meet a man who has the same tie, or a woman who's dressed just like you? It never almost happens, which is one of those miracles. But the tendency goes more and more into having your own. iGoogle is a nice example of that. If you actually go Google something, the page is empty. The gate to the chaos of internet, billions of teragigabytes of information, is an empty page, and the only thing you enter is your own inquiry, and then you have the iGoogle, personalized whatever is interesting for you. You create that yourself. That's what it's important. That's where one size really doesn't fit. Well, maybe it does fit all, but we don't want it to fit. We want to be different. And in difference, that's where the biggest gains in exchange and in trade. If we two were exactly the same, there would be nothing we could trade, and we couldn't enrich each other by trading. The more different we are, the more we can gain from trading. This is the basic principle of economics that even Adam Smith discovered 300 years ago.